When you think of the autumn season, you probably think of the vibrant yellow, red, and orange leaves of the East Coast. But this is not the East Coast.
California is not known for its fall colors, but if you head to the Eastern Sierra and take the June Lake Loop, I think you'll think differently.
This is the time of year that a lot of us wait for.
Dude, autumn happens here too.
The June Lake Loop, or Highway 158, hugs up against a stark and steep portion of the Sierra Nevada. Along the 15-mile drive, you'll pass by 4 uniquely picturesque lakes.
You can just drive the loop. You don't even have to get out of your car. You get to see all these beautiful lakes, fall colors.
Laura Kaler and her infant son Will help operate California Fall Colors, an online reporting database that maps out the changing leaves in real time.
We have over 100 color spotters that send us reports from around the state.
And one of those spotters is photographer Dakota Snyder.
Every time I go out, I end up taking like 1,000 photos a day.
For many visitors, the first lake you will encounter is Grant Lake. It's a bit sparse along the shoreline, but there's pockets of color that really pop if you look around up against the rocky hillside.
Cottonwoods and willows and aspens all along the road.
Next on the loop is Silver Lake, which lives up to its name by reflecting the bright foliage off the glassy water. Silver Lake has one of the most dense tree populations on the loop, and above it all is Horsetail Falls.
It's huge, and so that just is, makes those fall colors even more dramatic when you see this huge waterfall coming down the mountains.
A good vantage point to see Horsetail Falls is from the Silver Lake Resort restaurant parking lot, which is also a good place to grab some breakfast or lunch. As you wrap around Silver Lake, there's a pull-off that leads you to a grove of Quaking Aspen. Be warned, you will run into other photographers waiting for the morning sun to hit the trees at just the right angle.
Truly, when you're trying to capture fall colors, you're really trying to chase light. That means you're getting up really early and you're staying out almost all the way until dark, or you're playing somewhere in between.
Just a little bit after noontime, a slight breeze will pick up in the mountains and you might start to see leaves at Gull Lake falling. I've learned that the leaves start to change color or fall, all depending on the weather.
Cold temperatures and the amount of daylight are what really trigger things to start to change. So in the fall, as we get less and less daylight every day, that gets things going. And then the reason the Eastern Sierra is such a great place to see fall color is because we start to get those cold nighttime temperatures.
Go ahead and stretch your legs. There's a few hiking trails at Gull Lake that'll get you under a nice canopy of changing leaves. Once the leaves change, how long do you really have?
It's usually about 2 weeks, unless we get wind.
Oh, and did I mention autumn is also a great time for fishing. What do you got there?
Trout.
Nice trout, huh? Speaking of trout, June Lake, which is the final lake on the loop, is well stocked with fish. I was lucky enough to see a load of live trout dumped into the lake, which was perfect timing for these fishermen.
It's the most fish I've seen in my life, and I've been coming up here for years.
Oh, and fish might not be the only thing dumped in the lake.
Here's a fun story. Legend has it that an illegal gambling establishment threw a bunch of slot machines in June Lake to avoid being caught by the police.
June Lake is not only well stocked with fish, but covered in fall colors. You can easily walk from the little town of June Lake to the water's edge, and along the bank, you'll see extravagant homes hiding behind foliage, which often takes longer to change color than the rest of the lakes.
Because of that elevation change, we have one of the longest fall color seasons historically anywhere in the area.
June Lake Loop is kind of an all-day affair, so if you get hungry, I suggest trying the famous pizza at June Pie or grab a beer at June Lake Brewing. Each spot has a great spot to view the fall colors.
Experiencing California's fall colors off the June Lake Loop, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.